what's up, y'all? Live from the place to be. It's your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, your boy Ren, and that is Dee Dee right there. Dee Dee, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
It is another installment. We got Dee Dee, so we are already certified here. I mean, you people come with clout, we come with Dee Dee.
Okay.
All right. With that. Welcome to another installment of the Set Apart Podcast. We are your hosts, where we talk about everything and nothing at the same time. So today we're going to start off talking about something really, really serious. And I don't think y'all understand how serious this is. Dee Dee, there's a portion of my life that was so sacred and so amazing with good emotions called childhood. Mm-hmm. Now, in that childhood, as I'm older and I am learning new things, I'm getting wise. I learned that it was things that I was doing when I was younger that I had no business doing. You know, we like here at Set Apart, we like music. We like all that type of media and stuff like that. So here's my question to you, just right off the bat. I'm gonna give it over to you, Dee Dee, but for real, if y'all listening, put it in the comments. Send a message because I want to know. What is a song that you were singing your heart out to when you was younger that you had no business? I'm talking about you had no business talking about this stuff. You had no business.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, because I got checked by my auntie one time, and I even tried to explain the song to her. So stupid. I think I was like somewhere between 8 and 10 years old. But I don't want to be a player no more. Big pun.
I don't want to be a player.
Yeah. I don't want to be a player no more. Big pun with Joe singing the hook.
Yeah.
And then when he said, I'm not a player, I just crush a lot. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, that's because he fat.
Because he sit on people? Or
yeah.
Okay.
So this is between ages, I think I was 8 or 9. So I'm just singing this. And my auntie was like, what you talking about? Stop singing that song. No, it's just because, he crushed a lot. She was like, girl, shut up.
Girl, if you don't get...
I was singing. It was on the radio. I was singing it because, the track was so nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, still. Still, when it started, I don't want to be a player. Yeah. Yeah, that was nice.
Might have been Big Pun's biggest hit.
Man, I can't think of another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's hard. That's real. That's real. One thing for me was, and I was a freshman in high school, give or take a couple years. And I'm talking about when that beat hit, it was a radio song. It always came on the radio. And it was like, I was all the way in my feels when Keisha Cole came out with,
oh my God,
where were you when I said I loved you? I remember when my heart broke. I remember when I gave up loving you. Oh, listen, you wouldn't think I didn't know what heartbreak was at that time, but I'm telling you, I sung that mug from my soul. Talking about, I remember when I gave up loving you.
And ain't got one memory at all.
Ain't got one memory. I don't even know what I was talking about. But what I'm in that mug. If it was rain outside, I'm going outside dancing in the rain, talking about, I remember when my heart broke.
Oh my God.
Crying.
It was a time. Why was I singing Mary J. Blige's cover, I'm Going Down? Because you ain't around. Girl, what?
Who ain't around? Who ain't around?
Somebody told me to stop singing that one too. I'm like, oh, it's so good.
I was in dang on elementary school, and this shows that I had no chill. I was in elementary school, probably early middle school. So that's like 6th, 7th grade, talking about Freakalik Saranda, Tanisha, Drelanda, Freakalik. Like, bro, what are you talking about?
Nobody knew what they was talking about. We was just
Shut
memorizing
yourself
words.
up. Not no PD Pablo.
Right. But part of it too, this is what I miss. It's the music videos meant so much.
Yeah, they
They
did.
told the stories. So
They
then
did.
when you was in the car, all you saw was the visual. You like, man, this
Mm-hmm.
song is so good. Even the
Yeah.
songs that weren't good, if they had a good video,
Yeah, you're
it
right.
was just like, yeah, it was a
I'm
lot.
scarred.
Or
I'm scarred.
soundtracks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Soundtracks was it.
I was on I was heavy on that Waiting to Excel soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the movie Soul Food had a good
Oh,
soundtrack.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That song
For
with
sure.
Usher and Monica. It's called First Love or something. I don't remember what it's called, but I was like, that's when people did a duet, it was so good you thought it was real. You was really
Mm-hmm.
singing that mug like, dang.
You really thought? Yeah, yeah. You
Cause
really
your
thought?
TV, you had no TV.
Yeah.
TV in your room, you just had that radio. And you was
That's
playing,
real
listen to
life.
the slow jam show at the end of the night on the radio.
Yeah, that's
People
real life.
calling in with requests. You was
Oh
listening.
yeah, I would try. I'd be on that phone, redial, redial, redial. I was it.
I want
I
to
was
dedicate
it.
this to my boo.
Exactly.
What's her name?
Or
I
you
can't say that. I can't say
I
that.
can't say I can't say it out loud. I can't say it out. Listen, I'm still scarred to my soul every time I hear the word cash money taking over for the 99 and
Oh yeah.
2000s. Like I'm still
Oh yeah.
listen.
Listen, I was on
It's
all of it.
we had no business. We had no business, no right. Like if I knew what I was saying, like I was a hoodlum. I was a hoodlum. Let's put it there. I was
Yeah.
a hoodlum.
But that music hit different now when you done been through some stuff. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
dang,
for sure.
man.
When you
I
done
can't even
been
listen to
through
this
some
right now.
shit. Listen, Keisha Cole got to go to the back burner.
She been
I
through
can't,
everything. She
I
ever
can't.
happy?
I listen.
Her
Breakup
and Mary
songs will
J.
get
I'm
you.
like, golly.
I've done enough crying, crying, crying. Yeah, Mary J
Those are
was it
hits
too.
though. Breakup songs are hits.
They was. I still until this day. So when I did any kind of football games, I went through levels, and so like I thought, this is what I thought. And for you sports players out there, maybe you can get some wisdom from this. But what I thought is that you had to be hyped going into every game. So I listened to like a lot of rah rah music and like we some head busters, Little Johnny type boys just going right. Uh, and so I soon found out, and this was probably near the end of my high school career. I soon found out, and this is every sport, and so I soon found out that every time I would get super super hyped, I would go in there full of emotion and forget what the assignment was. Like we went through practice all day. I forgot everything. Hey, this is what we're gonna work on. This is the game plan, all this other stuff. I'm just here. I'm just trying to knock somebody on their butt. Like, you know what I mean? Or if we in basketball, like I was like literally like just super prideful. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. Like totally disregarding the game plan that we practiced all week to get here to get to. And so I watched the documentary and it said that Michael Jordan listened to classical music before
Hmm.
games. And so I hit him in a happy medium and I was like, I can't do classical music, but I can do slower music. So that was the birth of every game I would listen to breakup songs before the game and it just stuck. And it because I wouldn't go in there too high, I wouldn't
Yeah.
go in there too low. I was like right there, like, okay, remember what you need to do. But at the
I always
same
thought
time, in
about
my
that with
feelings.
football players. Cause when you watch, first of all, that's the whole thing, right? Let's act like animals and go
Uh-huh.
crazy and foaming at the mouth type of thing with football
Mm-hmm.
players when they come out and I saw a video the other day, they on all fours. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
all right. Like I always thought about that, like, because emotion, that high of emotion can make you tired.
it can make you
And
tired.
a
Yeah,
football game, it's like you need so much. There's such a long field to run.
right,
And then you gotta chase somebody if you
right.
slow. And it's like it's to be that hyped, like how do you it's impossible to keep it there. I always thought
Right.
about that, like that's too much energy. Or they
And
running up
you
and
think
down,
about the wrong
head butting
thing.
each other, and like,
Hmm.
somebody's always yelling. I'm like, oh, he must don't play because ain't no way in the world.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy because like it's always like that's what I saw on TV. That's what I saw on
Yeah,
TV. I saw get rah rah, get all this other stuff, which is what made me want to do it. But like it's really counterproductive. It's truly counterproductive. Like
yeah,
you have to remember if there's a certain game plan that was done for a reason.
yeah.
And so, meanwhile, if you just try to hit people as hard as you can, but the whole game plan was to keep them to
No
one side of
scheme,
the
just
field, like no, like just I'm just running. Like you might as well just be running at a wall. Like you're not helping us. Like so, I
yeah.
soon figured that out. And so, and at the same time, speaking to emotion, and I'm just gonna be real. I don't know if I'm calling it out for the fellas. I'm not gonna speak for all of y'all, but me as a male in 2023, I'm gonna tell you this: after a serious conversation, after a disagreement, after an argument, after whatever, where I'm translating my feelings to someone else, be it positive, negative, indifferent, whatever, I need a nap every time. Like if feelings make me sleepy. Feelings make me sleepy every time.
Like after you got a good whooping.
Yeah. Oh man. When you crying so hard you pausing.
Ooh, that's some good sleep. That's some good sleep, man.
That's some good sleep.
Crying so hard
Emotions
you
is
almost throw up.
tiring. Emotions is tiring. Oh my goodness.
Woo! Now that makes sense because yeah, my a song that we played before every game in college, it was just happy stuff. It was like early Kanye, Lupe. Because I learned in high school, Serious D is not a good basketball player. I
Wow.
had to be I had to be having fun, or I was going to, like, if I took it too serious, I wasn't very good.
Yeah. You get too nervous. You get in your head.
It was just like, girl, it's basketball. Like,
Yeah.
calm down. And then in college, oh, it was on. I mean, we was
Right.
having conversations on the court, like talking about lunch while the person's shooting a free throw, just having a
Yeah.
good time. Just,
Yeah. That's good.
dancing before the game.
That's
Just
where it's
just just free.
yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
had a
good.
little routine in the locker room. We got in trouble because we used to do it in the bleachers, but the opponent thought we were mocking them, even though we weren't.
Oh,
But you know how I go. But anyway, yeah, the vibe got to be right. Too
the
serious is
vibe got to be
too.
right.
You can't perform.
So you athletes out there, listen. Don't go in there and trying to rah rah and all this other stuff. Like, and forget everything. You know what's crazy in
We ain't
football
never
is that
scared. What?
exactly we some bad bus. We like it's like
Look,
we
if you
went
but.
through. We played in high school. We played on Friday. In college, we played on Saturday. You literally went through every single person went through probably like 4 to 5 practices to get to this game of strategic things. Of this is the scouting report. Remember this and do
Hmm.
this. Get excited before the game, forget everything we worked on all week. It's it's too much, y'all. It's too much.
Yep.
It's too much. But that's what it is. Y'all let us know what is a song that you sung, what is something you was doing, and this could get crazy. So be clean in the comments. What is something you was doing when you were younger?
Nah, be free. Be
That
free in
you
the comments
hey, you know what? Be
if you
yourself.
delivered or not.
Speak your truth. Speak your truth. What was you doing when you were younger that you ain't had no business doing? Like, get it? You ever heard stay out of grown
Oh,
folks'
tell us what
business?
you've been watching. What movies? What you watching? When your mama wasn't at home, you went in her stash. You know that
Facts.
movie's rated R, and you shouldn't have known all the parts to that movie.
Yeah,
Why
and
you
you
at school
thought you was
quoting stuff
grown.
in fourth grade?
That 20 twin. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Y'all know what he talking about. What's up, guys? This is Ren from the Set Apart Podcast. Did you know you can interact with us and continue the conversation via our online forum? That's right. You can email us today at setapartpodcastteam@gmail.com because this is not just a podcast. This is a movement. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
So I've heard this a few times, and I won't say which gender says it the most,
Okay.
but in regards to relationships, people have these unwritten rules are not, now they're written because people, everybody's a guru now.
Yeah.
But in romantic relationships specifically, there's this rule that, or there are these rules that, you know, you have to be in a certain status for a certain amount of time, or you have to be, or if, or, and if it moves outside of that time, people are like, oh, already? Or
Right.
if it moves outside of that, you know, people don't think it's the real deal because
Mm.
we have these societal norms and rules. And one of them, I just don't know how I sit with it. And it's
Okay.
this: you got to know a person in all four seasons. Have you heard that before?
I have not. Please elaborate what that is.
So the way I heard it. So it's in the context of, you know, is it too soon to be exclusive, or is it too soon to be engaged? Is it too soon to be married? Is it too soon to
Mm.
I don't know, start blending lives? So that's
Right.
like family and schedules and, you know, how much you should spend on a birthday, all the stupid stuff,
Yeah.
right? And so I heard, keep hitting I cut myself the other day and I keep hitting the cut and it reopens. But anyway, but I heard that you got to see a person in four seasons, meaning, so they use the calendar seasons for this four, I guess. So you got to
Okay.
see, you know, in the summertime, everything is fun, people vacationing, you know, it's not too much stress. The weather is nice, so you tend to be in a better mood. And then it starts getting to the cooler months in autumn. So then people get all cozy, and they call that cuffing season. That's what
Yeah.
people start getting, you know, and they feelings, and
Uh
yeah,
huh.
the weather start
Yeah. Yeah.
changing. And then it gets to the winter time, and everybody's scared because, am I expected to get a good Christmas gift, or should I not do nothing? Or if I do this, what does it mean? If I buy this, or if I meet the family on the holiday,
Yeah.
um, but in the wintertime, that's when the cuffs come off, essentially,
Okay.
because it starts getting serious. Then we looking at the turn of the year. Do I want to go into a new year with this person? Or I haven't seen them when it's cold, it's struggle season. How they
Hmm.
balance their money. They start throwing all these
Hmm.
these these things in there. But then in
Yeah.
springtime, you know, okay, weather's starting to get a little bit better. Things are blooming. Valentine's Day, so it's easy. I can, you know, it's, I don't have to be creative on Valentine's Day because the stores just do it for me. All the
Right.
posts and there's specials at this restaurant. So I ain't even gotta, you know, really try that hard because America is doing it for me. And then
Right.
we
Okay.
start feeling each other again. Most weddings happen in May, June, July. And then we traveling again. It's good. We on the water. Everybody look fine on the water. You know what I'm saying? People been working out for their
Okay.
summer abs. So if I don't really like you like that, but I like taking pictures with you. So we finna live it up and post it up. You know what I'm saying? Then we
Okay.
back to
Okay.
the, oh, so maybe man, I look up, it's been a year. Maybe I should be doing this by now because of the
Right.
time frame. So I've seen them in four seasons. I've seen them when, you know, they might have a sick parent. I've seen them when they struggling with something, and I've seen them come out. I've seen them how they handle their anger when this is going on. I've seen them when they lost a job. I've seen them when they got a job. I've seen them when they got a raise. I see them when on vacation, how they, so this notion of give it time so you can see them in all four seasons. What are
Mm.
your thoughts about that?
Mm. That's that's a tough one. That's a tough one because it's like I do agree to a certain extent. Of course, not the literal seasons. I think it's less about the literal seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think how do you know? And this is essentially answering a question with a question. But how do you know whom this person is unless you see them in multiple scenarios?
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that when you get with somebody, whether you've been with them 1 week, 1 month, or 6 months, like they can tell people what they want to hear. Like it all sound good. Like, oh yeah, you know this, you this, you this, you this, you this. But until certain seasons come about, that's when the rubber meets the road. That's when it's real. That's when it's real, real. Now, I've had friends, and they struggle in certain seasons, and I always wonder why that is. Um, that's why I was like just captivated by what you were describing, because it's like they were okay when it was all winter and cold and stuff like that, and now apparently the sunshine bring the hoe out of everybody, and like
I'm telling you. And
sunshine
now
bring the
dudes
hoe
is
out of
wearing them
everybody.
little shorts these days. So
Oh
it's
nah,
just a
they
lot of
trying to get caught. And listen, I'm not talking about it because, like, listen, one of my favorite. I work out, and my favorite muscle on my body, um, is my quad. So you know I can eat up some hoochie daddy shorts. Like, so I'm with it. Like it show off my favorite muscle. That quad got a hoochie daddy shorts. It got to be banging. But what I'm saying is, I digress. What I'm saying is that the summer really do reveal a lot of people, a lot of things about a lot of people, and not necessarily that you automatically sunshine come up you're a different person, but it's like it's a way different season from you going to work,
yeah,
coming
you be
back from work.
outside.
You out, we outside, like people outside.
Outside, outside.
I've seen the most, and this is something I definitely don't agree with, and I don't even mean to change the subject, but I got to call this out where I call it out. I've seen people, multiple people, say the summer's here, and now they was in a relationship the whole time through the winter and all this other stuff, and now you taking a break for the summer. Taking a break? What is this? What we doing? And
Recreation.
so exactly. And so so I would say that ultimately I would agree in the fact of you have to see them in different atmospheres, in different seasons of life to know how they're going to respond. Um, and especially if you know if you know a little bit about their story, and you know that there may be red hot spots,
Mm-hmm.
but you've never encountered that red hot spot with them. So if you got a chance to get near it, just to see how they react. I'm not saying they need to react like a saint. I'm not saying that they need to react like the most godly person that you've ever met in your life. But one thing that they can't do, and this is what we call ding ding red flag for me. A red flag for me is complete shutdown.
Mm.
That is a red flag for me. Now, I feel like, sorry, this is the standard that I'm putting out there, but this is the world. We are adults. There is going to be some things that is hard to talk about. But guess what? Communication never ceases. Communication can be like, hey, I just don't want to talk about this. This is really hard for me to talk about. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to say that one sentence. Hey, maybe I'm not ready to talk about it right now. All right, that's cool. It's easy to say that one season. I'll give you some space. You ain't got to worry about me like breathing down your neck about it. But the hope, my desire, I'll let you know that when you're ready to talk about this, we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But some people totally shut down. They
Mm-hmm.
ain't communicating with you. They ain't talking to you. They going back into not only they degenerative spirals, but they're going back into the way that they process hurt, and you ain't got nothing to do with that process. And that to me is kind of dangerous, especially if you know that this person has their vices, or you know that they have they certain testimony of and is getting close to these hot red sore spots.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say ultimately, long story long, I think for the best of my knowledge, reserving the right to say change. But yeah, I think I agree with it. What was your sway on it?
So although I definitely acknowledge everything you said, and I
Right.
think it's valuable to see how people respond in certain situations. However, the key ingredient that I think doesn't get talked about with this kind of thing, because let's just be real, the reason we're evaluating these 4 seasons is because we're trying to see, can I commit to this person for the rest of my life?
Yeah,
Do we agree on that? Okay.
that's the goal.
Right. I think that if we're gonna be set apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some things, I'm a firm believer in, God is not the kind of God that wants to trip us up. And so he's not going to put us in a position to test whether or not we learn from the last time when it comes to people. He wants us to win. However, our problem, I think, sometimes is that we don't seek him, we don't ask him, hey, I'm feeling this person. Like, is it just my feelings or is this something that's really here? Because imagine if he just said, go for it. And you over here like, no, 4 seasons, 4 seasons, 4 seasons. Nah, hold on. I wasn't ready.
Right.
I didn't think you was gonna answer me like that. And then it's like, well, why did you ask me? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want you to win and you ask me, should I go or should I not? And I say, go for it. And you say, nah, I'm just playing. What we talking about here?
Yeah.
So where's the element of faith come in? I didn't say foolish, but the element of faith to come in, like if God says go, like, no, but I gotta see something first. Is that negating the faith that we're supposed to have in him to like lead us in the right direction?
Right.
Because
I think
although those seeing those things are important, but what if he says, it's gonna work out though?
yeah.
It's still gonna work out because I'm setting this up. You think you got our number because you got our number, but I really set y'all up.
Right. Right. That makes sense. But I will also say to that, and everything is so crazy to answer these questions because it's so case by case. Like some people process faster. Some people, and what I mean by process faster is that like there's things that happen, and I would say I'm a slow processor. That I would put myself in a slow processor situation where I can see something, I can go through something, but if you're giving me time to process what just happened, I need it. Give it to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Like I need to process what just happened. I need to figure out what I'm seeing with my eyes right now
yeah.
because in the words of the great poet uh, Buster Rhymes, if you really want to party with me, put it in my face for the eyes to see.
Oh
That's
my
all I'm gonna
God.
say. I'm just gonna say it part. That's all. That's what I'm gonna say. Put it in my face for my eyes to see. I need to see some things in order
Yeah.
to move forward. Now, here's the thing though. God gonna do what God do.
Mhm.
There's times where I've seen the same things that I've searched in relationships, and I've been. I don't want to say this. Let me sound dramatic and say this. I've been cursed with long relationships. Multiple.
Cursed. Okay.
multiple
Okay.
multiple and so it's the same sports reference that I have, right? Nobody wants to be mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a team, a professional sports team, if they suck, you get a high draft pick. So
Mm-hmm.
there's joy in the morning, guys. Come on, keep on something for hope. If you mediocre, you get a mediocre draft pick and you still in the middle of the pack.
You still
And so
rebuilding.
you still rebuilding. You still in the same spot that you was last year. Probably in the worst spot because now time is against you. And so I've been what I say cursed with long relationships is that like, man, like if I wasn't gonna marry you, why were we together for 2 years? Like what the heck is
Yeah.
going on? Like, why was we together for a year and a half, a year? Like,
Yeah.
gosh, what man? Like, I wish I would have knew that mug in the first month. Like, and that's just me and my thought process. But what I'm saying is sometimes it takes me longer to process things about people. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like it's all because I have to get past, like, no matter how, and ladies, no matter how much that person, that guy is sitting up here saying, oh, I'm tough and he macho and stuff like that homie is in a cupcake phase for like the first month, month and a half, 2 months, like he a man trying not to fart in front of you. Like that's how deep we talking about. Like I don't want her to smell me wrong. I don't want no flaws in my Photoshop version that I'm going to that
Yeah.
I'm
Real
when
talk,
I'm
y'all
hanging
worse
out
than
with.
us. I'm just gonna be
Oh,
honest.
hands down.
We'd be
Hands
like,
down.
dang, can I order the wings? Y'all tripping.
Hands down. Like
Yes.
we not trying to have no blemishes in that Photoshop. And so
And we not even
uh
this is so crazy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
but that's crazy. And then we put things on the relationship that we don't need to put on the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, you as a woman could never have said that, like, oh, I want to go to, like, you just want to spend time, like, oh, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
go to this expensive thing, I gotta do this and this and this. But in our mind, it's like, oh man, like, in order to impress her, I need to take her to these things. You've
Right.
never communicated that that's what needs to happen. In our mind, we're saying, in order to be
Best
with
of the
her,
best.
I need to do these things. And
Mm-hmm.
then you start competing with this false thought.
Imaginary friend.
Yeah, it's imaginary thing. It's so much stuff to go into it. And usually it takes a little bit for that to wear off. If it started that way, it takes a little bit for that to wear off. And so now, like, in terms of timeline, we 2 months into this, and ain't nothing really happened, but besides, like,
Spending
me
money.
knowing a little bit about you. Um, and so, like, that, and then there, so 2 months in, there starts the process of you knowing who this person is, knowing how they navigate, knowing all this other stuff. Um, which is, hey, that could be for some people. People process slower. People got to get through some things slower. Now, as I'm older, um, I think it still happened. It still
Mm-hmm.
happens. It doesn't happen to on a huge grandiose macro level, but it does happen on at least a small level. When we get to those birthdays, when we get to those Christmases, when we get to those, um,
Why?
because it's like, man, like, it's most about expectation. Me, I
Mm-hmm.
don't care too much about gifts.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, my gifts is a piece of clothing that I need. Like, buy me a pair
Mm-hmm.
of jeans, all of them got holes in them. Like that, that's me. That's my version of
Yeah.
gift. But it's like, dang. Now you probably don't think you got to go to expensive dinners, expensive dates, or whatever. But you like, it's Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
What is the dollar amount that I not what the gift is? What is the dollar amount that I need to spend in order to say that this is acceptable? Gift anxiety is real, Didi. It's real.
I hear you. But this is why y'all gotta stop trying to figure stuff out by yourself because y'all doing too much. It don't take all that.
Mhm.
The other thing is ask a woman to help you. But y'all, never mind. It's just so I feel like the reason I'm asking this question too is because I really believe that men are trying to reach this certain thing that they don't have to, but they hear it from other men.
Mhm.
Because aren't you trying to be with a woman?
Yeah.
So why not ask her, what do you expect of me?
Yeah.
Or what do you expect? Because you only need to be figured out by one of them. You ain't gotta like for me, I'm like, I don't need to understand men. I just need to understand one.
Right. But then you still mess up yourself because, like, I did that before. Let me tell you about how I messed up. Um so Christmas comes around and
Mm-hmm.
we agree upon a gift exchange. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not low and it's not in the air. We know we getting each other gifts. And we say, and I say, hey, I'm a very particular, specific person. Let's put a dollar amount. Let's put a budget. Like, I don't want to sit up here and I don't want you to buy me something $500 and I buy you $500. So just that we all on the same boat. What is that budget type that we're looking at? And so we put a budget on it, right? I think the budget was like something like $50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that wasn't the bad part. We both was in that was communication. It was amazing. Had I stuck to that, it would have been fine. I did not. Immediately, when I said that the budget was $50 and she said okay, I knew I had to double that.
Okay, so where's the problem?
That but that was the toxic part. That like to me, now that the toxicity is like, I went from, oh, it all have to be elegant and stuff like that, to we just agreed upon something and now I feel the pressure to double it in order to be okay. Like, it's and it's pressure that nobody else put on me but me.
Okay.
So the gift exchange didn't go well. Let me tell you that. Uh, it didn't go bad, but it didn't go well. Like, it was like, oh, surprise, here you go. Like, and now she like, hold up, we agreed that we'll do $50. Ain't no way you spend $50 on what you just gave me.
That's probably just a personality difference there. Because to me, I'd be like, oh, I know we agreed upon it, but I appreciate it. I'm not going
Yeah.
to, and just reassure, like, you ain't. Anyway, yeah. So, my next part of that, to follow that up, is so let's say, you said it's some people process slower.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say, like, because this happened to me. So, when I say, like, okay, God said, yes, me, move forward, he didn't necessarily say get married. He just said move forward.
Right.
So stop looking for something to go wrong, essentially
Yeah.
was the message. And I think if you've been hurt before, the tendency is to try to spot the things that hurt you before they happen, to try to prevent stuff and try to protect yourself,
Early signs.
which is dangerous because
Yeah.
this is a whole new human being and they don't deserve to be, first of all, they don't deserve to be penalized for something else you experience. you know it could be just like any other kind of traumatic event. That person wasn't there. You weren't even the same person you were when that happened.
Right.
So number one, give yourself grace. Be like, if you heal, be healed.
Right.
Like, yes or no. And if you're not, maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship
Right.
if you don't have a clean slate for somebody new. The other part of that is, it's not healthy, in my opinion, to evaluate one relationship against another and compare. I think we can all agree that that's not fair.
Right.
So I think when you're trying to prevent being hurt a second time or a third time, whatever it might be, you're almost causing that person to walk on eggshells, if you will. If they know what it used to be like, oh, I don't want to do that because so and so. And now they're not being themselves. They're just trying to prevent blow ups, or they're trying to
Right.
prevent or hide things because they don't want it to come across as if it were this. But I think if you're communicating and you're saying, like, I don't like this kind of behavior because it reminds me of this, that's a different conversation than, oh, well, I don't, last time this happened when I was 2 months in. So this time I'm going to give it 3.5 just to be safe. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. It's but everything that we do, and I'm trying to find this Bible verse. Shame on me for not having it memorized. But it's one of the hardest Bible verses, I think, that people don't give warrant to because it happens. It happens in this arena. It
Mm-hmm.
happens in so many arenas. Um, mm, I'm not gonna find it. So basically, what the Bible verse says is that um, basically what the Bible verse says is that, hey, you have been set free, so go live free.
Mm-hmm.
Like these chains have been taken off, so now live like you're free. And so the good part about that is that, oh yeah, the Bible says that we've been set free. Amazing, let's rejoice. But like staying free is hard, like because you choose to go back into that bondage so much without even knowing. And so everything that you do in the aisles of relationships, especially if you've been hurt terribly before, is can be seen as a response to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You date people so long, and once again, that affects everything. It affects how long it takes you to process, because you're like, okay, I seen it one time. I should believe it because it is a new person, but I'm gonna need to see it a couple more times in order to believe that it's true.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? A response to hurt? Why?
Yeah.
Because you've been hurt that way before. And so everything that you do is a response to hurt, even if you do not um, believe that you are putting it off on this person, or you are putting your last situation on this new person. You are, because I there's a huge part of you that no
Mm-hmm.
matter what relationship, whether it be romantic, whether it be family, whether it be anything, any relationship that you have, there's a huge part of you that is going to protect and guard you
Absolutely.
in this relationship.
Absolutely.
Even if it's like not wise, like even if you do things that are not wise, there's a portion of you that is going to say security first
Hmm.
and then everything else later. And so
Absolutely.
if you go into relationships like that, there's a good way to do it. Yes, that's healthy. It's healthy to do it a certain way. And then there's a bad way to do it. And so based on your testimony or where you've been, I feel like that changes everything, because 4 seasons at that point, I don't think matters. You can see them mugs in 8 seasons, but if you're just gonna keep responding to hurt by the way you proceed in this relationship, you're just gonna keep dragging things on and dragging things on, because there's two things that happens in every relationship, just like there's two people that happen in every relationship, which is a that person, those persons came into this mug with a huge amount of hurt, or
Hmm.
they could have potential to come into here with a huge amount of hurt. Half of your timeline is going to look like how are they responding to hurt, period. That is going to determine success or failure in your relationship. And number two, which should be a main focus, is the blending of lifestyles of, hey, does your goals meet his goals? Does, all of that other stuff. But a lot of times people cannot get to number two because they stuck in one. They stuck in the first gear. And so, like,
Hmm.
to me, that throws the whole season off. That throws the whole 4 seasons quote off, if you realize that you're already stuck in a cycle of looking for where you've been hurt and making sure number one comes out on top. I mean, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. We probably shouldn't be doing this.
That's what I'm saying. What's the point? But people do that and they don't think that it's they don't recognize it as wasting time. They think it's
Mhm.
productive because I've experienced where like don't almost like it felt like you're staging a scenario to see how I respond. I
Yeah,
hate that. Don't do
I
that.
I do that. I do that. I
I
do
don't
that. I do that.
that's not that is not don't do that to a woman. That is
I do
terrible
that.
because you might as well have a clipboard and a pen in the corner taking notes. That's not real life because
Right.
to me, that shows me how prideful you are to think that you have enough eyes and wisdom to know who I really am by watching me in a scenario. Don't do
Hmm.
that to me because I'm a whole human being and
Right.
I might respond this way today, but
Yeah.
tomorrow I might have cramps. Ask me again.
Yeah.
I'm just
You're
keeping
right.
it real.
You're right.
I might have a headache in the back of my head. Put me in another scenario.
You're right. You're
You know what I'm
right.
saying? I might have just had the best prayer time with the Lord and everything gonna feel beautiful and rosy for the first
Right.
15 minutes after that.
Right.
So that's not realistic. And I don't like when, because to me, that means like, wow, so you think you're way up here enough that you have the right to grade my behavior?
Mm.
So you're trying to be my coach. You're not trying to be my
So
partner.
here's the question I'll have for you for then. What separates that from being a coach and being a evaluator? Like, like you're trying to evaluate this person in
Hmm.
general to see if this is something you want to move forward with.
Let life happen and you gonna know. That's why I say
Mhm.
we gotta stop leaving God out of the equation and
Yeah, you're
acting
right.
like he ain't the expert on relationships. He knows the two people that should be carrying out the purpose as partners. He already knows that. So why are you acting like you his junior assistant and you got the clipboard and you talking about who didn't run through the line in practice?
Assistant to the manager. Yeah.
Like I feel like that's such a if you're talking okay, I'll put it like this. We set apart, let's be set apart. I'll put it
Yep.
like this. If there's somebody that I'm feeling, we already had the conversations, our core values line up, things we want to do, blah, 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 blah. Because of the value of what I know I bring to a relationship and the value that I know that I'm expecting this person to bring to a relationship, I'm always on my knees like, this is my life, God. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to move forward? I know how I feel,
Yeah.
But I know feelings ain't what we talking about. We talk about a life commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Should I proceed? Should I open up my heart any more than it is? Yes or no? I need to know. Without fail, I get my answer some kind of way.
Yeah.
Sometimes the answer sucks because of how I felt. But if I'm supposed to be set apart, if I'm supposed to be different, he has to be in charge of this thing.
Right.
He has to be because he knows what I don't know. He sees what I can't see. He sees 10 years from now, but my feelings ain't what they supposed to be. He knows
Right.
he knows all of that. So if I'm asking those questions, he gonna say, and what else? Other thing that's always happened when I have questions like, oh, I wonder how he act when this happened. I always get my answer without me verbally saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Because God cares enough about me to know this certain things matters to me. And if God wants me to move forward, he gonna shut stuff down so I don't have to ask about it no more.
Right.
That's how real your relationship with him should be, to be like, I don't need you to be like my dad or my coach or my evaluator. And the reason I know the difference, don't give me no teachable moments. I'm your partner. You ain't my Sunday school teacher. If you don't get the heck out of here talking about, well, if you look at this scripture, or you trying to I saw this thing with, okay, Kirk Franklin and his wife did this interview, and she said when they first got married, whenever he would think she had something that he didn't like that he wanted her to change, he would like buy these relationship books and like highlight certain passages and like leave it open like on her side of the bathroom. Like, don't do that.
That's
You
real.
trying to be my, listen, just talk to me. I'm a grown woman, like just like you're a grown man. If
Right.
there's something that you see a flaw, you have every right to point it out. But don't be
Right.
trying to like sit me down like, you know, well, Jesus wept. So you know that means, nah, just talk straight. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't like that because that makes me feel like he really feeling himself, that he think he really know what's going on inside of me better than my heavenly father. Are you crazy? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, don't daughter me.
Right.
I'm your partner. I don't want to marry my dad
That's true. That's
or my
true.
coach. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Just
true.
like if a woman did that to you and she always teaching you stuff, you like, okay, we supposed to teach each other things, but I'm talking about like, now like were you listening in church today? I think that was directed at what we talked about the other day. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I've been on that side of it, of having as having my partner act like, but the most frustrating about that in general, I would say, I've been on both sides. The most frustrating thing about that in general is that sometimes you can mask things as noble.
Yeah.
And then you can have
A good thing instead of a godly thing.
exactly, and you can have extremely blind spots to the way that it impacts others in general. And so, like, of course, I'm confident Kirk Franklin thought he was. Oh, I'm on to something, guys. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
on
look,
to it.
I
Like,
didn't raise my voice. I bought the
exactly.
book. I read it first.
Uh
And I
huh.
highlighted. She didn't even have to turn the page. Look how thoughtful I am. I'm
Yeah.
forward thinking.
Exactly. And then, like, so the way that you intended is not always the way it comes off. And so, that's the dangerous part of it, right? Because like I'm confident, I've been this person. You can walk in that mug thinking that you are Albert Einstein and you got this brilliant, I'm talking brilliant, undeniable, like this is the method of a lifetime. I don't know why people didn't think of this sooner. Like you think you're
Hmm.
really innovative out here.
Yeah, and you
And
be
I've
like,
been
well,
on
she
both
liked to
sides.
read, so this is perfect.
Yeah, read this. Read this.
I know she be doing
Yeah.
those Bible studies with her friends. Oh, this is the same author. Ooh, I'm about to. She finna be
Uh-huh.
thanking the Lord for me. Like she gonna
Mm-hmm.
tell her girls. No, she gonna tell them. All right.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. And so, I mean, that's the hard part about it. But like, I think to even know that there is lines and the way that
Mhm.
you evaluate someone and the way that you are with someone, it brings so many more layers to the whole seasons conversation, right?
Yeah.
Because one thing that you can't, and this is hard, like this is for me, and I'm just speaking from, and this is not me knowing the answer. This is not me knowing the answer. I still don't know if there's an answer for the fact that there's two types to me. There's two types of Christians. We're just gonna, for lack of a better term, that's what we're gonna say. There's two types of Christian women for sure, and Christian men. But I'm just speaking for my significant others, the women's, um,
Sound unclish.
the women's, and so there's two types of women that I've ran into. There's the people who know God,
Mhm.
because this is something that they've been doing for years and it's a routine for them. And it's the people who
Mhm.
walk with God, like they
Mhm.
know Him, they walk with Him, they try to apply things to their lives. A church message, a Sunday message, a podcast, or anytime that they're in Scripture is not just a thing that they do because they're used to it. It's not fantasy football. This
Mhm.
is life. Like this is something I'm trying to apply to life. But then you have the people who can quote all of it.
Oh yeah.
Like those are the people that just know God. Like they can quote it all. But I'm like, I don't see. There's a huge disconnect from what you know and what you use. And the hard part about me, and this is probably a response to hurt as well. Um, but it's like, man, how can I know that she's one or the other unless I see her in some situations? Like I have to see her in some situations.
Mhm.
Like I can't just take, I'm sorry, girl, I can't just take your word for it. Like cuz your words and they words sound the same. Like y'all both saying, well, the Bible says, yeah, I get you know it. I get you know it. But do you, what is that? What does that life look like though? Like, what do you prioritize? Like, where's your priorities at? Is it you've been doing it so long that it's second nature and it's just what you do, but you prioritize your comfort and you just mask it as,
Mhm.
oh yeah, we got to go to this Bible study, but the
All the
Bachelorette
things.
comes on. We got to get back for the Bachelorette. I don't care if it doesn't end by 8. I'm leaving for the Bachelorette. I'm like, fam, like if this is DVR exists, fam. Like I don't know. Like, and that's one of my biggest concerns, my biggest fears, my biggest unknowns of how do you inspect that? How do you know the difference?
I think take the pressure off of yourself to try to inspect everything because you ain't gonna never know everything about a person until something comes up in life. And I still go back to it. I just be like, Lord, show me if he got an anger problem. I don't have to be the subject of it, but show me little things. Show me if every time I talk to him, he complaining about the Amazon man and how he put the box on his front step, or he complaining about somebody got his sandwich wrong,
Mm,
or is he always whining about how much money is in his bank account? So that shows me that that's something that I don't want to hear that every day. So since he already doing that, why do I need to continue?
right.
If he don't have no faith, who am I? I'm not gonna follow him. He wants me to submit to faithlessness. I can't do that.
Mm,
And I like a lot of things about you, man, but I know for me and the survival of my own faith, I have to have a man that knows how to trust God when things come up.
yeah.
Point blank period. Not a perfect man, but a man that's gonna be like, look, this is what's going on. We're gonna keep moving forward. Not
Would you
somebody that's in a corner crying.
would you say that that part, some of those components that you just spoke to, would you say that, and what I mean by red flag, I mean,
Hmm.
um, I take the driving test approach, right? So when you take a driving test, I remember because I failed the first time. Um, when you take a driving test, yes, it's on a point system. You do things right, you get points. You don't do things right, you don't get points. But there's certain things called like immediate fails.
Right.
We don't care if you got 100 things right, but this one thing is an immediate fail. Mine, sorry for the Southern California kid in me. um, was I did a rolling stop.
I
You
was
know
just
what I
about to
mean?
say,
Like
I knew it was gonna be rolling stop.
it was a California
That's
roll,
that's a way of life.
and so not stopping completely at a stop sign was an automatic fail.
Yeah.
And so I say that to give you the example, but
Mhm.
what you just said, is there things in that you would say, nope, there's no such thing as a more evaluation. There's nothing else that I need to see. This is an automatic fail.
And those two things that I just said,
Correct.
those aren't automatic fails. Um, because that right there, I can ask like, hey, like you could have said that a little bit better to that young lady,
Mm,
you know. And I'm looking at the response to that. If
okay.
you get even more hype because I said something about it, then you're not only not compatible with me, and I'm only talking about me because I know where I am in my life and I know how I'm supposed to conduct myself as a man's wife. If I'm your helper, but you reject help on something that small, it's only going to get magnified
Right.
later on. Or even if you hype, but then you come back, maybe you're the type of person, and maybe you don't know this about yourself, but maybe you're the type of person that needs a minute to process, and you come back and like, you know what, I thought about it. I totally heard it like this because I'm used to being fussed at, but I get what you meant. That was messed
Right.
up with me. Relationship continues, or getting to know you continues. But if that's how I evaluate. I'm not just
Right.
trying to put you in scenarios, but I'm observing, right? I'm observing because not only is it your life, but it's my life too. So I'm observing behaviors, but is it worth being like, hey, like I'm not used to you talking like that. Like what was going on today? Like I'm not used to you kind of losing your and can't even communicate because you're so frustrated. Like what was that? You know what?
Right.
And that happened to me too. The next day, you know what? You are totally right. I apologize. Like, and you risked it all by telling me the truth, and that's why I respect you. So I thank you for calling me out because it could have been over because
Right.
you decided to tell the truth and not just go along with it. I've had
Yeah.
those conversations. So that's not a red flag. Those two examples, no. But those are things that it might be a pale pink flag that
Right.
can turn red. So
Okay.
I'm not an immediate like, nah, you through. I'm throwing you to the wolves because
Right.
I'm also a type of person that I'm not even going to say we're mutually exclusive unless I've already observed things that are worth my time anyway.
That part.
So if we're already having these conversations, it's already an investment made.
Right.
So
That's
now
good.
now we get to have the real conversations like, so why are you working so many hours? Like what's going on? Like are
Hmm.
you trying to reach a certain goal? Are you trying to get out of something or pay something off? Respect. But that's conversation you can have when you get to a certain point in a relationship. If we just getting to know each other, that's not my business.
Yeah. For sure.
So there should be no flag at
For
all.
sure.
But like there are some things that are red flags that I'm be like, nah, 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 bruh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like don't daughter me.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah. I thank you for clearing that up because there is, and that's something that we got to get to eventually, is just have a conversation fully on red flags. Like, and I mean red flags is in the sense of there's certain many things. When I hear red flag, to me there's red, there's green, like, oh, and on the other end of the spectrum, and then there's
Hmm.
yellow. Hey, it gives me a little cause for pause, man. Like,
Yeah.
what really is going on in here? Um, and so I know that I have my selection of those things. But one of my beliefs is that there is not a lot of things that is irreconcilable, but
Hmm.
there is some things within the dating portion or the dating life that is like, this is not a journey that we can accomplish together.
Yeah.
Like, you got some stuff to do. Like, or I like, I can recognize it about myself. I got
Hmm.
some stuff to do. And the only thing that I would be in this situation, the only thing you would be in this situation is a distraction. And so you minus yourself from the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one day. One day we got to get on those red flags for sure.
Yeah. Cause sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just, oh, you showed me, you said this, but you're showing me where I am as far as a priority.
Mm.
And sometimes we got to stop always needing closure. Sometimes actions speak enough.
Hmm.
And sometimes we keep calling because we got to get this answer. Well, I just want to know.
Mm.
I just want to know what happened. You don't need to know what happened
Mm-hmm.
because all you're gonna do is get
Mm-hmm.
upset. And you trying to, what you really want is for him to change his mind.
Yeah,
But if a man feeling you, you gonna know. If you're wondering if he feeling you, then, and that sucks
that
sometimes.
part. Yeah,
But
that's real. That's
yeah, we
live
can
and in
definitely talk
color.
about flags. But yeah, with these 4 seasons, I think we probably to stop looking at it as 4 seasons and thinking it means a length of time, and look at it more like certain questions are answered that we need for our hearts to feel safe enough to proceed.
That's good.
Because that could be, somebody could be 3 months, somebody could be two. I know
Right.
successful marriages that it took 2 months of dating and they've been married 25 years. I know some people
Yee.
that take 6 months. Yeah, because if you talking to the
Okay.
Lord, he gonna say it's me.
Yee.
Handle
Okay.
things as they come. It's me.
Okay. Another thing we got to do. This is a lot of topics, and I'm gonna let us go on ahead and get out of here. But we got to talk about the engagement process
Let's do
because
it.
I'm really curious to know, what does this mean? Like what? Because like we talk about, oh, if you know in 2 months and you know and all this other stuff. Well, let's say you do know and the engagement's already there.
Hmm.
How long does that have to be? What needs to happen during this
Oh, I'm
thing?
already ready.
Oh,
Next week, let's go.
okay. We gonna have to listen. We gonna get up out of here. This is Red and D. We the Set Apart podcast. We got so much to talk about. We just about to go and blend it into a whole nother episode because it's gonna happen. It's hot. Didi, what you guys say to the people? Sign out to the people.
I want to encourage us to rest better. And rest does not mean sleep. Okay. It's okay to enjoy a movie without folding your clothes at the same time. It's
Ooh.
okay to listen to music. And I was just thinking about this the other day. I can't remember the last time I just let my music play and I just sat there and vibed, like really like enjoyed it for
Mm,
enjoyment's sake. And that used to be my thing. But there's a pressure as an adult that there's always something that could be done. Is it the truth? Yes.
mhm,
But so what? Because younger and younger, we're getting sicker and sicker. And a
mhm.
lot of things can be prevented if we let our minds rest. We just enjoy things and not have to multitask. Get good sleep, yes. But also, it's okay to just play some cell phone games. Give yourself an hour to wind down. It's okay. It's
That's good.
okay. Hey, hey, this is your girl Dee Dee from Set Apart with Ran and Dee Dee. Thank you so much for tuning in to this latest installment. Don't forget to subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts.